CutisPharma, I want to welcome everyone to join us during a very special occasion for the company. We've had a lot of milestones that we're very proud of, and today, I think a significant accomplishment, bringing manufacturing in-house for the first time on our transformation and path towards building the specialty pharma company of the future. So I want to first off welcome everybody, our invited guests, and most importantly, the employees who have actually made the company, made it work to get us to where we are right now. I want to start off with a round of applause thanking our employees. You may see a lot of weary eyes, tired faces. It's because they've been working nights and weekends over the last 2 to 3 months to get us to the point where we are right now. So just a little bit of context. Of course, everyone on the CutisPharma team knows about CutisPharma, but for some of the guests who have been here who are getting to know us now for the first day or getting to hear our story, the company was founded 18 years ago. Founded 18 years ago actually by my father, Indumudi, who's here as well. And he had the mind and vision 18 years ago to take a look at the compounding space in the pharmaceutical industry. And realizing, I think all of you know, you've seen a lot of headlines in the news with respect to compounding issues. Unfortunately, very few of those headlines are positive in these recent days. And a lot of it comes to the fact that up until now, compounding was not really regulated. It was a space where the federal government didn't have jurisdiction. State boards of pharmacy were left up to their own devices, and frankly, no one really knew what to do from a regulatory perspective. Add to that pharmaceutical compounding, by its very nature, is not standardized. It's individualized. You have a lot of folks in pharmacy practices have different years and experiences in practice doing this, and you can imagine that that's a recipe or a setup for issues that are quality control related problems, safety related issues. The government, the federal government, because of a safety-related issue with the New England Compounding Center, did step in and allow the FDA to have jurisdiction over this. Going back 18 years ago, my dad and the company had the vision and knowing that these problems were there. They were there 18 years ago. They didn't suddenly happen 3 or 4 years ago. And what the idea that my dad had was, for those types of prescriptions that are routine, that are relatively standardized, why don't you take the guesswork out of the pharmacist's hands and the variability? Make it standardized. Manufacture it under the strictest conditions of quality control known to pharmaceutical compliance, GMP in short, as per FDA regulations. Make it like an approved drug would be made as far as the stringent quality control standards. And do it in a way that allows a pharmacist to take a prescription like that and dispense it quickly, easily, safely, and with high quality, with everything that's needed all in a single box. That was the idea. The elegance is in its simplicity. So the company started off 15 years back launching 2 products, 2 small products, topical products in the kits. And I'm pleased to say that over these last 15 years, ever since we launched our products, and now our 18th year of company history, we now have a product line of a total of 24 SKUs, representing 6 product families. Pleased to say we'll be launching 2 more product families in the next several months. And for us, the biggest transformation that we embarked on a couple of years ago is starting to come to fruition. Moving towards getting products approved through the FDA and expanding our pipeline, expanding our R&D capabilities to really tackle that challenge for us, that we've built our base in the pharmaceutical compounding space. We're taking that knowledge, taking that history and legacy, and now taking it to that next level. So we've made a lot of progress in this past year on that front. We've been working with the FDA in earnest across several pipeline programs. And I'm very pleased to say in terms of accomplishments so far, we're on track to file our first NDA the second quarter of next year. We hope to file our first IND next quarter. And we're actually, a team of us is going to see the FDA next Wednesday for our 3rd project, where we hope to open an IND in the next several months. So we're moving well on that way. And the critical part of this transformation to go towards that in terms of the vision of who we aim to be is to bring manufacturing in-house. And that's why we're here today. The effort actually started two and a half years ago. And 2.5 years ago, and now $4.5 million later, we're at the point after a substantial capital investment, time and commitment and energy, that we're pleased to inaugurate our first production line. And we're not stopping there. This first production line is completed with respect to validation as those of you will see on the tour, we have an identical production bay right next to it that we've just unpacked our second machine, and we'll start in earnest to complete the validation of that. The goal is over time to start bringing manufacturing in-house. We've built out our R&D team. Over the last several years, we've doubled in headcount. We've added about 17 people to our payroll in the past 18 months. Hope to add continued additional hires. So we're growing, we're expanding. We're very proud of who we are. We're very proud of what we offer to patients. And the other thing that's very important in today's day and age about pharma, everyone hears about pharmaceutical pricing and sort of these crazy price increases people take. I'm pleased to say, and we've looked through the facts, I had Erica crunch the numbers. Over the last 15, and now this is the 16th year we've been selling products, our average price increase for that total 15 years equals what the average price increases are of big pharma on an annual basis. We've managed to grow, we've managed to invest, and in all doing so, keeping our price increases on average over 15 years, 3 to 4% per year at most. And we haven't taken any price increases this year. So I highlight that in the sense that we're being responsible to the community. We understand and certainly know who our patients are and understand that every dollar matters to everybody. And so if we can do our expansion and growth efficiently, smartly, and in an innovative way that keeps costs down, that's our path forward. And so my hope is it's a nice counterpoint, a nice counterexample to a lot of the bad press that I think the industry has been getting by and large at whole. So with that, certainly want to welcome everybody to commemorate this very special day. And I'm going to turn it over to Bob Coughlin to make a few remarks.
On behalf of the 740 plus member companies of MassBio, we want to congratulate you and all of your employees on this amazing achievement. This is an example of why Massachusetts is the best place in the world for innovation and for biotechnology. The mission of MassBio is to advance Massachusetts' leadership position in the biopharma industry, to add value to the healthcare system, and ultimately have a meaningful impact on the lives of patients. That's what it's all about. And the reason Massachusetts is so good at it and what makes us different from other states across the United States of America and makes us different from other countries that are trying to compete with us is because we have a real unique sense of collaboration and cooperation here. You can see it. You have, I represent industry, we have academia present, and we have government present. When academia, industry, and government align and work collaboratively with one another, there isn't anything that you can't achieve. And it's great to see Secretary Ash here representing the Baker-Polito administration, who has been 110% committed to this industry. The Life Science Center has been our partner in government for many, many years, and they will be for many, many years to come. To see representatives from Representative Maselli's office, as well as Senator Tarr's office, our partners in the House and the Senate have always been there to do what's best for the patients and to protect and preserve and grow and enhance this industry. So I want to have a big round of applause, especially for our partners in government. To all you voters out there, you didn't hear me talk about Democrat, Republican. In Massachusetts, that doesn't matter. And I just wish our friends down in Washington, D.C. could behave the same way. I'm sorry, yesterday was Super Tuesday. I had to make a political comment. And I am a reformed politician. I served in government for many, many, many years. And what took me away from government and what encouraged me to get involved with the biotech industry and the healthcare industry was about 13 years ago. My wife and I, it was over 13 years ago, we found out in utero, and I hope you don't mind me sharing a personal story because it's going to tie back to the wonderful things that all the people who work here do. We found out we were going to have a child with cystic fibrosis. And for those of you who are familiar with that disease, that wasn't a good day when we found that out. I got involved with the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation, and we raised a lot of money so that we could invest in research. Companies like Vertex, Foldarex, Combinator, Tepix, Altis, Alnylam, Alnara, so many companies that we were raising money and investing in, so for me personally, so that we could invent or buy a cure for my son so he wouldn't die. You know, I think of how much progress has been made in that particular area for that particular indication in the last 13 years, and it's truly astounding. It's truly astounding. And that is how important this industry is. I mean, we all know and love somebody who's experiencing an unmet medical need, right? It's great that we can drive the economy here in Massachusetts and grow in employment by 42% over the last 8 years. That's pretty amazing with these great jobs. But it's even more important what we all collectively do for the patients of not just Massachusetts, but the entire world. And it's a responsibility that we have, and we're going to continue to do it. And everything that we do day in and day out is for the patient community. Biomanufacturing is the fastest growing sector of our industry. And I continue to see that trend happening. So this is a perfect case study of if we all do what we're supposed to do, we can continue to grow. And to the folks that actually make these kits, one of the most challenging things that my wife and I recall when my son was an infant, the day he was born, he had to take pancreatic enzyme capsules so he could digest food. Do you know how hard it is to take 4 capsules, pull the beads out, mix it up with applesauce, and then stick it into an infant's mouth that just started drinking milk? That's hard to do. When I met with Neil several months back and we were talking about some of the challenges that, or obstacles that needed to be worked through for your company, I couldn't help but think of what you don't just do for the pediatric patients. Think of what you're doing for their families. By making these kits and making it easier to administer meds for these infants that otherwise couldn't take it. That is so important. So I want you to know that when you guys go to work, I also want you to know that you look fabulous today, all dressed up in these wonderful clothes. When you're making this stuff, you probably don't dress like this, right? But you look wonderful. And when you put these kits together, the impact, not just what you're doing for the pharmacists and what you're doing for the providers, or even the patients, think about what you're doing for those families, because you're getting that much needed medicine into that patient, and that's a beautiful thing. So with that being said, I just want to, again, congratulate you on behalf of all of your fellow member companies of MassBio. I want to thank you for being such an important part of the best cluster in the world for this industry. You've got us here. You're going to continue to keep us here. And all that the work and growth that you do moving forward is going to ensure that we stay on the top of the hill. Because when you're the king of the hill, you got to stay there, right? It's not always easy, but we're going to continue to advance technology so we stay there. So thank you very much, and thank you for having me.
Well, thank you very much for those very kind remarks. Certainly appreciate it, and certainly proud to be a member of MassBio along with the other member companies. So before we transition to Secretary Ash, I believe that Dave Robertson, Representative Michelli's office, has something he'd like to present.
So as you just heard, my name is Dave Robertson. I work for Rep. Maselli. And Representative Maselli today is down reading to the elementary school kids, getting the next wave of Cutis Pharmaceutical employees ready by, I believe, it's Dr. Seuss today. It's his birthday, so we're doing Read Across America down there. So he asked me to step in and just briefly bring down a citation from the House of Representatives, congratulating you on the opening here. Once again, Wilmington is welcoming another top-notch quality company that goes above and beyond, and I think it's largely thanks to the business environment here developed in Massachusetts, the wonderful students graduating both from the elementary, secondary, and the later higher education, and the innovation, such as your family brings, the ideas and the challenges they're willing to overcome. So, since I'm not elected, I promise I'd keep this short for you. We'll keep things moving. So I'll just read the citation here. And it's from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts House of Representatives. It says, "Be it hereby known to all, the House of Representatives offers its most sincere congratulations to CutisPharma in recognition of the initiation and opening of the new manufacturing institution, which has brought a remarkable blend of innovation and industry to the town of Wilmington and the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. We wish you the best of luck in all your medical advancements and business endeavors." given this second day in March 2016, signed by Speaker Robert A. DeLeo and signed by State Representative James R. Maselli.
I'll leave it over here for Secretary Ash. But thank you very much. Appreciate it. And for everyone here who's made it happen, this is for all of you. Thank you. So it's a personal honor, certainly on behalf of CutisPharma, to welcome Secretary Jay Ash up to the podium.
So I have to tell you how inspired I am. I am so lucky to be in the job that I have as Secretary of Housing and Economic Development. And I get to go around to companies like Cutis and see all the wonderful work you do, and I get inspired by that, what you're doing. And so I want to thank all of you for the great contribution you've made, first and foremost to the families, the individuals and families you're serving. It's great to think that all of us have a little piece to play in making the quality of life for individuals and families better. And all of you that are here that have contributed to this great day, I know you feel a great deal of satisfaction. Please accept our deepest thanks for all that you do. And thank you for continuing to inspire people like me and so many others to want to do more of the good stuff that you're doing. So I'm inspired, first of all. Secondly, I have to follow Coughlin. Oh. So he said everything I wanted to say. That away, Coughlin. But the reason why I bring that up is it talks about alignment, doesn't it? And Bob talked about alignment. It's very interesting when Neil gets up here and says everything that Bob and I want to say, and then Bob gets up here and says everything that I want to say with Neil, and the president would get up and say what he would say, and we're all saying the same thing. We're all singing off the same song sheet. And that's what's another great thing about being here in Massachusetts at this very special time. Not to get politics involved, but Bob brought it up, so now I get to talk about it. But we're all working together. In government, it's the governor's administration, Governor Baker, along with legislators, including Representative Maselli and Senator Tarr, and their leadership, Representative DeLeo, the Speaker, and Senate President thank you. I was thinking other thoughts about Stan Rosenberg. So Senate President Rosenberg, we're all working together, working off of the same song sheet, if you will, to support industry. And the reason why we are inspired to do that is what we see every time we come out to the Cutises of the world and we see the good work that you're doing. So thank you for helping to continue to inspire us and helping to make sure that the alignment that we are performing works. When I stand here, I think about all the good work that's being done, and that's the first thing that we should celebrate. But I also then think about the impact that you are having in Massachusetts in general and Wilmington in particular. Great community, great proud history of manufacturing, and the intersection now of life sciences and manufacturing that you're helping to spur in this region and to help advance in the Commonwealth is great. So we can celebrate everything that's being done for patients. We can celebrate what's happening for Massachusetts and Wilmington. But the thing that I really want to talk about is I want to celebrate all of you. I had a wonderful opportunity to talk to Neil and his dad Indu, and I'm so impressed not only with your business acumen, but your sense of community, your sense of purpose. You know, I go in and I talk to businesses all the time, I don't always come across leaders like Neil, who was eager to talk about everybody else and not himself, and talk about the wonderful staff, the wonderful team that he has here that's making a difference. And so all of you should be quite proud of what you accomplished. It starts in the leadership and it works through everybody else who contributes, but it's really great to come to a day like this, celebrating validation, and we can all use a little validation in our lives, celebrating validation and knowing that the validation that we have here is not only about helping people with a better quality of life, not only advancing the economy, but helping good people to come together and really form a family on their own. So I congratulate you for creating such a great business, and I congratulate you for creating such a family environment here. I know this is not going to be the last time that Bob Coughlin and Jay Ash appear with Indu and with Neil to celebrate other things. Indu, we're expecting big things out of you. You keep on being that entrepreneur you are, and know that we will celebrate you. I know that this isn't going to be the last celebration for Cutis, and I'm happy to be part of that ecosystem that is supporting each other as we look at making terrific gains in the world of biopharmaceuticals, but also making a difference in the lives of all the people who are beneficiaries of that. So thank you for allowing me to share this, Neil, with you, and thank you all for continuing to inspire the entire world. Thanks, everyone.
Secretary Ash, thank you very much. Certainly on my behalf and that of CutisPharma, we thank you very much for your comments, as well as the support. I think it's as you mentioned, as Bob mentioned, this cross-functional support, whether it's from government, whether it's from industry, from academia, that allows this ecosystem, as you said, in the environment to flourish. And we're certainly proud to be a Massachusetts-based business and continue to plan to be that way for the foreseeable future. So what I'd like to do now, as I mentioned, a lot of folks have been working really long, really hard over the last several months to get us to the point where we are right now. Completion and validation, starting to manufacture products. And as a representation of that, a couple of members of the team have actually been working late last night to get some products off the line. And to illustrate and to commemorate this, figure no better way to talk about it than to actually show what the product looks like and what's coming off our line here in Wilmington. So I'd like to introduce and welcome Terry on behalf of the production team, Terry Chow. He's going to bring out some of the products that are actually coming right out of the manufacturing line. So maybe this is just a round of applause for the first products that are coming off our assembly line. And what we'll do is we'll conclude this portion. I'd like to invite some of our invited guests up here to actually see the product, what it looks like, and then we'll give everyone a tour of the facility to show you what it is that we've been spending so much time and effort building out back. As you can see here, because of requirements for clean room, et cetera, the rooms themselves are all sealed off and airlocked, but we have windows all around, so we'll take everyone on that tour so you can see what it looks like behind the glass. Okay, very good. Well, thank you for everybody to come by. Appreciate it. Thank you.